Okay, we have 10 full members present, 9 are voting, and 17 members in association. Thank you. Back to you, Flo.
Thank you so much, Kishan. And once again, welcome to the fourth sessions of the Regional Assembly. In order to resume the thank you. In order to resume the standing orders, I would like to request from you guys to have one proposer and one seconder. Once again, I need one proposer and one seconder. Okay, thank you. Sorry. Proposed by KNEPS Korea, seconded by PSAT Thailand. Thank you so much. And in order to also resume, we need the votes from the full members. Therefore, please prepare your voting cards. For those who are against to resume the standing orders, please raise up your voting cards. I see none. For those who are for to resume the standing orders, please raise up your voting cards. And please make sure to show it in the camera. Okay, sorry, NUSPS, Sebastian, but yeah, your background, yeah. Thank you.
Nine.
Thank you. It passed unanimously. Okay, Kishan, can you help me to re-update the standing orders? Thank you. This is the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly appoints Mr. Kishan Kunalan RWG, Ms. Shannon Grace Chua UPPHA Philippines, and Ms. Patricia Hedi Surja Dijaja BMFFUI Indonesia as members of the Motions Committee for the duration of this Regional Assembly. This motion shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. I would like to open the floor for discussion. I see none. For those who are against this motion, please raise up your voting cards. I see none. For those who are for this motion, please raise up your voting cards. Once again, make sure it's seen in the camera. Thank you. Thank you. Motion passed unanimously. I think we can move on to the next motion. Motion 63, this is the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly, appoints Ms. Ho Wen Ying, MyPSA Malaysia, Ms. Sabita Rimal FOP Nepal, Ms. Shannon Grace Chua UPPHA Philippines, and Ms. Nurhazika Izan, MyPSA Malaysia, as scrutineers for the duration for this regional assembly. This motion shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. I would like to open the floor for discussion. I see none. Therefore, let's go to the voting. For those who are against this motion, please raise up your voting cards. I see none. For those who are for this motion, please raise up your voting cards. Thank you. Motion passed unanimously. Let's move on to the next. All right. Okay, wait, guys. Kishan, sorry, can you double check first the ones on the WhatsApp before I proceed? Okay. Motion 64. This is the 23rd IPCF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts Ms. Patricia Hedi Surjadi Jaja, BMFFUI Indonesia, as meeting secretary for the duration of this regional assembly. This motion shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. I would like to open the floor for discussion. I see none. For those who are against this motion, please raise up your voting cards. I see none. For those who are for this motion, please raise up your voting cards. While we are waiting for Kishan to update the voting results, I just would like to remind the assembly that it is important for you to turn on your camera, and then like also to rename yourself. I still see a lot of people that haven't really like renamed themselves. Alexandra, I wish you can rename yourself. And also for all of the assembly that haven't really turned on your camera, like Sogjin, and Alexander and Gorantla Sai from, I think, India. Would you mind to also turn on your camera? Thank you. And motion passed unanimously. Thank you, Kishan. Let's move on to the next motion. And for the next motion, I would like to consult with the assembly. As you can see that right now we are having 5 nominations in total for the positions. We also will have the bidding and some other motions that might be raised up from the RWG with the duration of 4 hours. And looking back from our experience yesterday in the entire RA, we think that we will not be able to directly finish the regional assembly for 4 hours duration time, and it's also included the time that we have the break, right? And therefore we would like to consult if you are okay to extend the fourth session for 2 hours so you don't have additional session of the RA. And the reasons why is if you have additional session, there will be the upcoming work congress, as well as that we also prepare for the General Assembly and so on. It's going to be very tiring for you guys to have all of your full weekends this month with all of the meetings. And I also talk about the experiences from the previous Regional Assembly online. They finished even like all of those agendas in more than 5 hours. So we think that to make sure that we have a vision time, we can still even like it's if we are lucky we can even finish it before 5 p.m. GMT plus 8. But in order to make sure that everyone is convenient, we just would like to raise up this motion. However, to move on, we need one proposer and one seconder. So I would like to consult the assembly about this, if we can have one proposer and one seconder to extend the RA. Proposed by PSA Taiwan. I need one seconder. Seconded by BEMChem FA UGM. Thank you for your understanding, guys, to not having additional regional assembly. So it's gonna be our last. To proceed, we need the full members to vote. Therefore, please prepare your voting cards because this is proposed by the regional working group. So Kishan, before I proceed next, can I ask you if we still need the voting from the full members, or can we proceed with just yes and no?
We want to have the full members to vote on this so that they agree to extend the motion. But we'll open the floor for discussion first, so that everyone can raise their thoughts about this, and then we'll proceed to voting.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Kishan. So I would like to open the floor for discussion. Is there anyone that has additional thoughts about this or would like to get clarification from the regional working group? I see none. If you guys, okay, once again, final call, if you guys are okay for us to vote, give me a yes in the chat box for all of the member organizations. Thank you. All right, so for the full members, for those who are against this motion, please raise up your voting card. Christian, help me to check. Thank you. For those who are for this motion, please raise up your voting cards. Motion passed unanimously. Thank you for your understanding. So just to remind everyone, we'll be having 30 minutes break because of this motion as well. So you guys still have enough lunchtime break. Thank you. Let's move on, Kishan, to the next motion. Right. This the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly elects the following candidate as the Secretary of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2021 to 2022. I would like to invite the nominees. If you guys are ready, you will be having 3 minutes each. And according to the orders, we will be having Sue In first from APSA New Zealand to represent her speech for 3 minutes, and then followed by Paul from FJC BPHA Philippines for another 3 minutes. Before I proceed, Kishan, do you have any announcement made to the assembly?
I think for now, later on when we proceed to close discussion and voting, then I will give a short briefing again.
Okay, thank you so much, Kishan. I would like to ask the help from the scrutineers to time up for 3 minutes. Sue In, are you ready?
Yep.
Thank you. You have 3 minutes from your first word. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all attendees of the Regional Assembly. My name is Suan Lee from APSA New Zealand, and I want to share with you how I can contribute to building a stronger and more efficient IPSF APRO. I want to start with sharing my motivation for running for this position. Over the past year, I've worked directly under Mr. Kishan, the current Regional Secretary, learning different parts of his job and being trained and experienced in handling of official documents, organizing meetings, serving as many secretaries for the different subcommittees, and also policy writing. This was part of my experience as the Regional Secretary Subcommittee member. And through this time, I was able to see the value of this job and also thought that it was the best way to utilize my skills and experiences to further the visions of IPSF APRO. I also believe that I have the right experiences and skills for this position. I'm a fluent English speaker and writer, being growing up in New Zealand, and also have plenty of experiences in using formal English. I believe these to be the essential qualities of being a regional secretary. Within IPSF, I've served as a regional secretary subcommittee member, participated in APRO-LIT and Global LIT, served as the meeting secretary and motions committee of the Regional Assembly, and also as a co-opted member of the APRO-MIMS Internship Organizing Committee. Outside of IPSF, I've served in various leadership roles, which handle official documents, constitutions, policies, and meeting organizations, such as serving as the president of APSA last year. I believe that all of these experiences together have taught me to be proactive, organized, and also a more efficient time manager, which I believe will lead me to a successful mandate as a regional secretary. The nomination form outlines my plans for the upcoming mandate. So here I'll be focusing more on the new and developing initiatives. Firstly, I would like to strengthen the policy writing within IPSF APRO. This will be done by executing the policy writing competition, which has been currently planned by the current regional secretary, but will be executed for the first time in the upcoming mandate. I will further strengthen this by developing and launching a policy writing toolkit specifically for IPSF APRO, which will allow easily accessible resources and examples which guide people and empower our IPSF APRO members to be professional advocates in their own environments. Also, I would like to introduce a new team management platform, which allows the RWG and chairperson to gain a better visual overview of the subcommittees and their projects, and also allows easier delegation and micromanagement of teams. This will allow the RWG and the APRO office to run more efficiently and smoothly. I hope that the past 3 minutes have conveyed my vision and passion for this position. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Good time management. I would like to move on with the second candidate. Paul, let me know if you're ready. We will be timing you up once you're ready.
Can you hear me? Just to be sure.
Paul, sorry, can you speak closely to the microphone?
Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, but I would like to suggest you to make sure that you speak closely to the microphone so your voices can be heard. You have 3 minutes starting from your first word. Thank you.
So coming into IPSF was literally a new world to me. And I'm pretty sure that everyone has felt the same way of feeling nervous, scared, or even having anxiety, especially when you're all alone in starting your own journey in IPSF. All of them was truly a trembling experiences for me. Like, I feel like when I'm in another dimension, when there are a lot of people engaging and I don't know where, why, and how will I start approaching people, to be honest. Like, what have I done? Like, so my journey in IPSF started with the IPSF Global Leaders in Training program last year. So it was during the start of the pandemic. I didn't really know what to do. So I just filled out the Google form application with no hopes of getting accepted. Yet I was unexpectedly during that time that I got accepted, and boy, did I not failed on a lot of tasks and activities. So having a trainer like Kimi and Alan was really the scariest part of the training program for me. I was really scared to the point that I don't want to present after breakout room session, but I've been pushed by these trainers at the time, especially Alan, who's really like kept on letting me present like every presentation that we do. And it was the end of the internship program where I have realized that I was able to change a lot during the short time period. And it was that time that for that program, I was able to start to become an actual leader. So I applied for IPSF Team Public Health and Policy Committee during this mandate, and I was not wrong on having what I expected to do and doing. There was a lot of projects, campaigns, policy statements, and researches that I have all done, and to be a part with almost 1 full year. So I mustered up my courage to take up the challenge, and until I have been offered a position to where I am today as the IPSF Interprofessional Coordinator due to my burning passion and commitment to actually serve the Federation and overcome my personal challenges. Now, I would like to transfer this same exact kind of feeling and experiences that I had during the mandate with IPSF APRO. Yes, I haven't been a lot to IPSF APRO, yet I have worked with these amazing CPs during the policy session and have been really supportive of IPSF APRO with the webinars, project, and campaigns throughout the mandate. Dear APRO Chairperson, RWG, distinguished guests, and official delegates, I am Mr. Paul Darrell Omeneses from FJCPPHA Philippines, running for the position of APRO Secretary for the incoming mandate 2021-2022 with a visionary mindset of transforming our organization as an APRO leader. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. All right, I think we can go back to the standing orders. Thank you, Kishan. Thank you for the candidates. Very well presentations. I would like to open the floor for discussions, but before I did so, I just would like to remind for the candidates that you only have 1 minute to answer, and therefore I wish that the scrutineers can help me to time out. And also for the assembly, you only have 1 minute to ask the questions. And once again, because we have 2 nominees, you cannot ask any specific questions regarding their nominations forms. You can only ask questions that are not biased to a specific candidate, and you have to ask the questions that can represent the needs of the region for both of the candidates. So I would like to open the floor for discussions. If anyone would like to raise a questions, please give an eye in the chat box. And Kishan, please kindly help me with the speaking list. Thank you. Chang Swan Sai, IPCF APRO immediate past chairperson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Flo. Michael IPC. So thank you for your nomination, Suing and Paul. Both of you have very good experiences in IPSF and very strong competency. And I have one question for you too. So as being the secretary, one of your responsibilities is that you will have to collaborate together with the chairperson in managing the region and ensure the function of the regional working group. So my question is that, what is your strategy to collaborate together with the chairperson to run the region in a professional manner? Thank you.
Thank you. In order to begin to answer, we will go with the first nominee first, which is Suin, and then Paul. And then for the second question, we'll go with Paul and then Suin. If the candidates can understand that. So I think Suin, you have 1 minute to answer.
Thank you for the question. So firstly, I think communication is key. So I'll be communicating with the future chairperson regularly, whether that be via email or WhatsApp, and also utilizing my mini secretaries who are placed in all of the different subcommittees. I'll also be able to gain a picture of what each subcommittee is doing, and communicate that with the chairperson as well to gain an idea of how the office is running, and then coordinate with the chairperson in running and communicating about this together.
Thank you. Paul, you have 1 minute to answer.
Okay, so for me is that I have the visionary leader, which is the my subcore team. So there is 5: management, administration, finance, governance, training, and development. So first, on supporting the chairperson of APRO is that I would support and develop all of the work programs with the RWG and its subcommittee that includes the objectives, the work stream, the time frame, the budget, and all the important documents, organizing meetings alongside with the with the chairperson of the RWG is supporting the member as well, and also providing knowledge and efficient and effective like minutes taking, as well as other skills that would be helpful for the overall RWG and the chairperson. Thanks so much.
Thank you, candidate. Very good time management for both. I would like to ask the assembly again, if you still have questions for the elections, please raise an eye right now so we can directly put you in the speaking list. Kishan, help me to update the speaking list. We have Teh Ying Ying from IPSA Malaysia. You have 1 minute.
Hello, this is Jessica, my PSA Malaysia. And my question is, if nearly half of the full member come to you personally and say that AGM procedures are too tedious, what will you do?
Thank you, Jessica. We will go with the second nominee first. Paul, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so what will I do for that is that first I would consult first with the RWG on how can we easify the process or the procedure for this kind of situation, and actually have these members to be actually heard, to actually have their voices to be heard, and right and maybe a solution to that, and have a particular a particular solution on where can we easify the process of this kind of application. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Suhin, you have 1 minute.
Sorry, can I first clarify the question? Was it, did you mention that over half of the full members have expressed that the regional assembly is too tedious?
Nearly half.
Okay. All right. Does it answer your questions, Suhin?
Yep.
Thank you. You have 1 minute.
As Paul said as well, I think I'll first liaise with the chairperson, as she is she or he is the chair of the regional assembly first, and also consult with the RWG in deciding. But then we will also hold a vote as well and see a proposer and seconder for the motion and see if this is the sort of agreed motion from all of the full members attending the RA, and also take into account the motions that we have ahead of us for the remainder of the RA and see whether this takes into account the time we have left and is good time management as well. Thank you.
Thank you. We have one speaker from the observer. You have 1 minute.
This is Alan, observer. Firstly, thank you for presentations. My question to you is this: what do you think of the current standing orders of the Regional Assembly, and how would you improve it if you believe there's any room for improvements? Thank you.
Thank you. We begin first with Suin. You have 1 minute.
I think the current standing orders do definitely have a meaning and purpose for their existence. It is to maintain the formalities and efficiency of the regional assembly and any official events. But as Jessica has previously pointed out, we do have some circumstances when we have maybe more tediousness or frustrations regarding these standing orders. So I feel that these definitely can be improved. As it is a tradition and formality of the association, I don't think it's something that I can improve something on my own. I would have to consult with the constitutions and parliamentary office as well, and also the chairperson to see what can be improved from the current situation. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so I would also consult with the APRO chairperson as well as with the RWG, as well as with the parliamentarian and the CWC, as well as with the Secretary General as well on what can we do with the standing orders, because it also has a pros and a cons. And also, like with what Tsun said, is like it also has the formality as well embedded on it. So we can't really like discard like most of it. So what we can do as well is how we can improve on it and how it can help the overall RA. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I just would like to remind the assembly to stay active during the elections because it's going to be for the entire of the regional office. And if you have some questions, please address now because there will be your regional working group for the next year. We have one from Antia IPSF APRO-ers.
Anti-IPSF APRO-ers. So as both of you have put down the plans to expand policy writing, so may I know what are your plans to incorporate this into IPSF APRO and also engage our members in it?
Thank you. We now begin first with Paul. Paul, you have 1 minute.
Okay. So for me is I would continue the policy writing within the Secretary Subcommittee, strengthen like inter-regional statement with other regions within the IPSF, and actually introduce as well inter-association within a member organization and interprofessional joint statement as well with external organizations who have been our partners for policy statement to reach out our stakeholders effectively, and also there to ensure that our policy statements from CPs, MOs, and external partner organizations are recognized. We will have advocacy research as well to support it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Surin, you have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question, Ara. So as I have mentioned in my nomination form, it's two plans. So first of all is launching the policy writing competition within APRO, which has been currently planned in the current mandate, but has not been executed. In partnership with this, I'll also like to develop and launch a policy writing toolkit. And this is important because I feel that currently policy writing is very limited to the scopes of the secretary or the secretary subcommittee, and is not widely implemented within our IPSF APRO office. So launching a toolkit and also launching a competition and webinars and training that are associated with that will empower all of our members to be advocates in their own place. And I think that is the fundamental of policy writing, rather than just putting out something as a regional office, to empower everybody in our region to be advocates as future pharmacy students. Thank you.
Thank you. Kishan, if you can help me to re-update the speaking list. Now we move on to the next candidate. Right. Paul, are you there? Wait, let me check. Okay, sorry. Okay, you have 1 minute. Thank you.
Oh, wait, was there a question? Right.
Paul
Oh,
already
no,
answered,
wait.
Flo. We move on to the next.
No, sorry.
speaker.
I forgot the speaking list. Sorry. Yeah, I would like to invite Yena Young, KNEPS Republic of Korea. You have 1 minute, Yena.
Okay, thank you. This is Yena Yang from KNEPS Korea. I want to ask, the regional assembly has been online for 2 years. On your mandate, it could be face-to-face. How do you think you can prepare for this? Thank you.
Thank you so much. So now we begin with Sue-in first, followed by Paul. So you have 1 minute.
Honestly, the only way to do that, I think, is working with my predecessors and the Secretary General and the Parliamentary Office as well, in how it's run offline. Obviously, hasn't happened in my mandate, but I believe that with collective knowledge and inquiry, that's possible. Also, my previous experiences as the president and running assemblies, not in IPSF, but outside online and organizing those, will also help me to run those efficiently offline as well, if that were to happen during my mandate. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so what I would do is actually provide all of the important documents, organize like the physical meeting beforehand, including the logistics as well, and like prepare accounts and any other regulatory requirements, such as also like processing grants, honoraria fees, and allowance for any other payments as well that we would do for physical meetings, as well as prepare papers as well on any possible financial issues and manage the budget if we are going to do physical meetings in the next mandate. Thank you.
Thank you. So we now proceed with the next speaker in the speaking list. William from IPSF, Chairperson of APPS 2021. You have 1 minute.
Hi, William, APPS 2021. So thank you for your presentations and nominations. So relying on your experiences in IPSF and your quite long histories and experiences, what is, in your opinion and in your research, the largest challenge you will have to face if elected as secretary of the next mandate? Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to invite Paul. You have 1 minute to answer.
So I think the biggest challenge would be is that it's our current policy writing is really not that effective. I feel like, because it hasn't really had a good foundation within IPSF APRO. So one of the solutions I think is possible that introduce and guide the CPs in actually drafting the various papers, such as position papers, green and white papers, as well as a joint statement and call to action documents that can actually provide them with the proper knowledge before the IPSF global and regional policy sessions that is really vital for IPSF APRO. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to invite Sue-in. You have 1 minute.
Can I just clarify whether you wanted a solution that we were thinking of as well, or just the challenges?
William, have clarifications, please.
Hi, I was just asking for the challenges, but if you can present a solution, that would be more than welcome.
Sure, thank you for that. So as usual, the large amount of documents and the increasing amount of documents and the emails, as Mr. Kishan has expressed in his annual report, I think will be a challenge as well. Also training my secretary subcommittee members to be capable future secretaries if they were to apply for one, and to do their role within their respective positions would be another challenge as well. And also continuing to engage the region and supporting the region with the lasting impacts of COVID-19 would be another challenge. However, I think with the wisdom of my predecessor and also my experiences in running events online during the COVID situation will help me to overcome that, and also providing more structured training based on my own experiences as the secretary subcommittee will help me to train our future secretary subcommittee members to be more capable secretaries as well.
Thank you. All right, sir, I think Haitian, if you can help me to update. Yes, thank you. We have one more from RWG, Chiswansa, I receive Ibrahim Media Past Chairperson. You have 1 minute.
Okay, thank you, Flo. Michael, IPSF, IPC. So as you know, it is very crucial for the secretary to have to understand IPSF official documents well, to avoid any violations and misunderstanding on IPSF objectives. So especially nowadays, we have more associations coming up in the recent years. Therefore, in your plans as APRO secretary, how will you help our member associations have a fair understanding of IPSF official documents? Thank you.
Thank you. We begin now with Sue-In first. Sue-In, you have 1 minute.
So I believe that effort has already been made to help understand our member organizations to understand the official documents. So Mr. Kishan and also the chairperson facilitated sessions to introduce the official documents and what they are to the CPs. However, I can strengthen this further by breaking down the sections of the official document, their purposes as well, not just to the CPs, but maybe leaving a physical record or summary of these documents and what they exist for, so that they can be distributed not just to the CPs but to our member organizations as well. And I can also strengthen this to the IPSF APRO team and make sure that these are distributed and incorporate these into other training sessions as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so what I would do is is a open online course. It's actually to collect data as well and gather information on what would be the easier way of actually having these official documents passed to the CPs as well as to the MOs. So so that they would have an easier access and easier understanding, such as a summary as well as highlighting the most important information as well as a summary as well of the official document. So it will guide them easier throughout the mandate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I just would like to get a clarifications from PSAT Thailand. Do you still wish to speak? Because we still have time for you if you want. And then I think we will proceed to voting. PSAT?
Yes, I would like to.
Thank you. You have the floor.
Thank you. So I am Tang-O from PSAT Thailand. And as a secretary, I think it would be like a challenging chance for you too. So I would like to ask, what situation can make you feel uncomfortable at work? And how do you do to get rid of those feelings? Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So for the nominees, wait, I can't see the nominees, sorry. Okay. So now we will begin first. Paul, are you ready?
Yes.
You have 1 minute.
Okay, so I think one disturbing again situation with it is avoiding actually grammar and spelling errors within my writings, because like I will not be able to do it alone, but I believe with practice that I have been checking out like which will I write will be vital for other people as well as for members who are receiving it. Thus, Like I will use like applications as well, such as Grammarly, that is actually helpful in correcting like my incorrect grammar and spelling errors. So with practice again, like with good communication and teamwork, organizing skills, is that I will be able to overcome that kind of scenario in work. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Sirhin, you have 1 minute.
First of all, thank you, Tenno, for the question. I would consider that one of my biggest weaknesses is that I tend to be a bit of a perfectionist, and I put a bit of pressure on myself to, complete everything up to my standard. And that kind of leads me to being caught on some piece of work and not giving myself enough rest until I get through them, which can also, lead to accumulated stress in the long run. To alleviate that, I definitely force myself to take breaks at times, but also with the support that I have from my subcommittee members and fellow RWG members, if I do become elected, I feel that that will lead me to alleviate that stress as well. And also delegating them to different subcommittee members and whoever is appropriate to, I think will also help me to get past my weakness in that sense. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I just would like to ask the assembly again if there is any final call for the questions. Otherwise, I'll proceed to the voting. Thank you. Because I see no questions on the floor, I think we're good to proceed with the voting. And therefore, Kishan, I would like to ask you about this because we will move on to the closed discussion. We have to also move the nominees to other breakout room. Yeah, you are back.
1 second.
But we haven't announced, so yeah, you're back.
But you finished the closed discussion, right?
Was
Of course.
Okay.
Or do you want to go back to the breakout room? I'm so depressed. Okay. No, okay, sorry guys. I will go back to cheering. Is everyone back, Kishan?
Yep, everyone is back. Let me just update the votes for the screen.
Thank you. But before you update the vote, can you answer the clarifications made by, the questions made by FJC?
Okay, so thank you, Bill, for your question. So Bill from FJC asked, what if the candidate did not, any candidate did not receive the minimum number of votes? So in order to pass the election, they need to get the majority, simple majority vote, which is in this case 6. If they are unable to obtain that, the assembly can propose a motion to reconsider the motion. So that means we'll do the election once again. If we do not pass that, we will straight away move on to second round elections. If the motion passed and we do go through with the re-election, and again we do not get a majority, we will also move on to second round nominations. But I would like to point out that for the current position, we have no candidates for second round nomination. So if we do not get a majority for this round, we will have to reopen nominations for the position, which is a very tedious thing to do. So please do not do that with me. Clarification,
Thank
Observer.
You. Thank you. Clarification from Observer.
Right. Thanks. Alan, Observer, can I just clarify, since from previous RAI experiences, what we used to do was that, let's say we don't get a majority, in this case 6, for one, we will actually eliminate the candidate that has the least amount of votes, then re-vote, and then if the remaining that still does not have a majority, we again if it's a 2 candidate and we already remove 1, then if the remaining candidate still does not have a majority, then it only will reopen. Can I just clarify on that point? Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thank you, Alan, for the clarification. The elimination, we only will do it if we have more than 2 nominees for that office, for that particular office. But if there's only 2 nominees, we won't have an elimination. We will either reconsider the motion or straight away proceed to second round elections. Hope that clarifies.
Thank you. Kishan, let me know if the voting results are ready.
Yep, I will show it now.
Okay, the nominees are here. Thank you. Okay, so just make sure that the live stream is on. Yeah, Jotsu.
Yep, the live stream is on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I would like to announce the results of the elections for the secretary and would like to congratulate Sue In becoming the secretary of IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for the mandate of 2021 to 2022. And also on behalf of the RWG, we wish Paul a successful. We believe that your contribution in IPSF is still needed. So we would like to read the motion 66. This the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly elects Sue In Lee as the Secretary of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2021-2022. So congratulations once again. Do you have any words to say to the Assembly? For 1 minute.
I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who voted for me. I'll work hard, try not to disappoint anybody, and help the future chairperson and the RWG to build a stronger APRO together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations once again. We're ready to move on to the motion 67. Congratulations, Kishan. Okay. Motion 67, this is the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly elects the following candidate as the Regional Media and Publications Officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2021 to 2022. Kishan, we have, okay, thank you. So we have 3 nominees. Before I proceed, Kishan, just to double check, do we have second round?
No, we don't have second round. This is the
Thank
first
you.
round.
So we will be having 3 rounds. Thank you. I would like to close the chat box first. And for the candidates, if you guys are ready to turn on your camera, each of you will have 3 minutes to speech. We will stop you directly once you pass the 3 minutes. We will go by orders. So it will start with Elizabeth, Karina, and then the third nominees, which is Moises. And during the open discussion, you will need to answer the questions from the assembly for a minute each. So make sure that you also take turns. So later on, I will call your names one by one. For the first question, it will start from the first nominees to the third nominees. The second questions will start from the second nominees, third nominees, and first nominee. And then for the third questions, we'll start from the third nominee, first nominee, and second nominee. I hope that clarifies. Can we go back to the standing order? Thank you. And scrutineers, please help us. I would like to call the first candidate, Elizabeth. You have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all the attendees of the Regional Assembly. Let me introduce myself. My name is Elizabeth. I'm from Isma Farsi, Indonesia, and I'm here to nominate myself as the incoming Regional Media and Publication Officer for the upcoming mandate. My first experience with IPS APRO started with the 18 EPPS back in 2019, 2 years ago. For me, it was an amazing experience and gave me a lot of insights about pharmacy, also the industry, and we exchange new cultures with new friends, and I get to know a lot of people. And from that, it encouraged me to apply and became the ENT subcommittee for the RMPO then in 2019-2020 mandate for Miss Evelyn Terza. During my time as the ENT subcommittee, I really enjoy working with my partners, with my fellow subcommittees. We get to work with projects that actually matters for IPSF APRO. We get to make sure all the translations for the publication materials I get it correctly, and I really enjoy working with my fellow subcommittees and also the other RWGs. For the past year, I enjoy all the publications and materials that has been released by EPSF APRO in the social media, and I'm really have the utmost respect for Miss Josiana and her team. For me, I really enjoy all quizzes and all the tribunes and the new things such as the APRO podcast. As mentioned in my form, I have several ideas that could be adopted or use on the upcoming mandate. I'm sure I can be a good RMPO because I am familiar with the work scope. I really enjoy working with others and have really good communication skill that I really think will be needed in becoming the RMPO for the upcoming mandate. So thank you for your time and for the consideration. Thank you.
Thank you so much for good time management. Now we move on to the second candidate. I would like to invite Karina on the floor. You have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Hello, dear delegates. My name is Karina Mulchandani. I'm from MAPS India, and I shall be putting up as a nominee for RMPO position. This is because I have worked with IPSF since a year now, and this has been a very fulfilling and a learning experience for me. And so I would like to give something back to IPSF. So, as I know that the workload of RMPU will be a lot because I shall be handling 3 subcommittees and it shall have almost 40 to 50 members in it. But I don't see this as a hurdle, but rather as an opportunity for me to handle so many people. And it is easier when there are many people and all have their hands on deck. Now I would like to suggest a few things, that is like I have noticed that on certain social media we have received less engagement and less follow up. So to correct that, what we could do is we could have certain weekly discussions wherein we could engage more students, and this would help us increase our reach. And since due to the trying times of pandemic, there is no certainty as to whether as we will have our APPS offline or online, or however whatever be the case, the RMP, that is the media and publications, shall play a very important role, because this is what connects people and helps to be the face of IPSF, and which will help more students get into our network. So most importantly, I feel is that we should remove all the barriers in our subcommittee, as we have different people from different cultures. I believe that we should have many informal events other than just formal events, so we can help break the ice and people can feel comfortable and open to showing their feelings, opinions. And I would like to make an environment where people are comfortable enough to say that okay, due to these, especially due to these trying times, that if they are not able to do do a commitment, they should be able to tell us that yes, we won't be able to do it, and I would like to and I would delegate the work to someone else. And being part of regional media and publications, I feel that timing, punctuality and content of our publications is key, and hence I shall be punctual and follow our standing orders. And since IPSF is a learning platform, we don't expect all our members to have video editing skills or social media management, website management skills. So we should make an illustrated guidelines, have tutorials and training in order so that everyone feels at the same level and they can reach their maximum potential. Other than this, I shall also introduce certain incentives which will help us motivate the students, that will give them short-term benefits, like we could introduce some certificates that make others feel that yes, their work has been seen, and they shall be encouraged, which is very important being as a publications. So I would really like to encourage all my team members to work together, and I hope that you will elect me as the RMPO, and I would like to prove my words with my actions. So thank you so much. I was Karina from India Maps.
Hold on. Okay. Thank you so much. I would like to invite the third nominee, but before that, I would like to ask for the committees to help me with muting the nominees that have passed 1 minute, that have passed 3 minutes of their speech. Um, So I think if Shannon can help me with that, thank you. And Moises, you have 3 minutes starting from now. Thank you.
My nomination form has been updated because there was an error yesterday. Please refer to that as I speak. Mabuhay, a pleasant morning to the 23rd APRO Regional Assembly. I am John Moises D. Carta, Moises from FJC PPHA Philippines. Joining in IPSF was not an easy decision as a freshman student, but I'm glad that it took a leap of faith, and that's when my IPF story have started, as I became the team leader of the design subcommittee. For the whole mandate, I have learned to adapt, initiate, innovate, and be proud of what I put up in APRO social media. Few projects I have made were 2020 APRO branding video, APRO podcast series, APRO corner, and APRO merchandise. 9 months later, I joined the IPSF APRO Leaders in Training 2021, where I got to hone my skills in management and leadership. I have also won in APRO competitions such as third winner of the APRO Branding Competition 2020, first runner-up in the first ever APRO Public Health Challenge, third place in Comic Poster Competition, and APRO Mental Health Essay Competition. Today, I'm here in front of you because I'm willing to take another big step with a leap of faith that I can do this. I am Moises, and for a few minutes, let me show you that I am ready to be your next IPSF APRO Regional Media and Publications Officer. Collaborating with member organizations and directly working with RMPO, I got to know that in the eyes of RMPO, there are criteria which makes a project more successful in APRO. First, it should be understandable, purposeful, creative, innovative, and at the same time has a proper means of marketing. These are the same criteria I want to follow during my mandate to unify, amplify, exemplify, and solidify RMPO portfolio for IPSF APRO. Unify the understanding and mix diversity to translations, amplify APRO's voice and stand through editorial and newsletter, exemplify APRO's spirit through innovative designs for branding, solidify the social media accounts through proper marketing. Although we are apart from each other, this will not stop us in creating possibilities and projects for the benefit of APRO. Together with my team, I'm planning to start APRO editorial writing contest, APRO public health advocacy video competition, test your pharmacy knowledge quiz, APRO monthly digest, and facts about pharmacy. These are combinations of small and big projects which will cater the needs of both APRO students and recent graduates. APRO delegates help me in my vision to turn the RMPO portfolio for diversity and knowledge, packed with artists, linguistics, and marketers for the growth of APRO towards a colorful, diverse, and working family and a home for pharmacy students and recent graduates. Once again, I am John Moises D. Carta, Moises from FJC PPHA Philippines, hoping to be your next IPSF APRO Regional Media Publications Officer for the mandate of 2021 to 2022. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the 3 candidates. I would like to now open the floor for discussion. If you have some questions to raise up to the 3 candidates, please make sure once again, it cannot be specific because we have 3 nominees. So all of the questions that you can ask is only a question that can be addressed to all of the 3 nominees. So make sure to state a good questions that can be answered by 3 nominees. I would like to again remind the assembly, you now have the time for open discussion. Please raise an eye in the chat box for any questions. Thank you. Kindly help me to update the speaking list. Li Hao Cheng, PSA Taiwan, you have the floor, 1 minute.
Hello, everyone. This is Voltaire from PSA Taiwan. Thank you for the 3 nominees' amazing presentation and speech. My question is that as far as I know, RMPO requires some visual design background or knowledge. Could you elaborate more about your work or like your experience in visual design or art-related field? Thank you.
Thank you. For the first question, we will begin with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, you have 1 minute to answer.
Thank you for the questions. Previously, I've managed to enter several poster competition back in my university. I also got to enter the poster competition for back APPS in 2019. I also do a lot of video project for my campus. I think that will be one of my art projects. And also, I did well my time as the ENT subcommittee. I also work with posters and video. That will be my background. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move on to the next candidate, Karina. You have 1 minute to answer.
As we know that content and design is very important when it comes to publication and media. So I have a bit of experience in designing, as I have designed several templates for a magazine as a freelance, not for IPSF. And I have some video editing experience as well, as I have done a course on it. And I shall also be able to compile several articles and design, because every article is different and it would require a different design. So we could help amalgamate both design as well as the editorial committee to have the best of publications and media. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. As I've said, I am the team leader of the design subcommittee, so I've been exposed to a lot of multimedia projects, both poster and video. To name a few, I have designed the 2020 branding video for APRO, the APRO podcast series, the APRO Corner in APRO merchandise, and I have also won competitions related to multimedia, such as the APRO Branding Competition 2020 and the Comic Poster Competition, which was a project of APRO. At the same time, I am working with the FJCPPHAs as International Relations Subcommittee, where I have connected with several member organizations and made posters and videos for their intercollaborations project. I have also worked for my local association as an editor, though I'm part of the external subcommittee. Thank you. Thank you for the question.
Thank you so much for the nominees. If we can also update the speaking list, I now would like to move on to the next speaker, Cheng Swan Sai, IPSF Paper Immediate Past Chairperson. You have 1 minute.
Okay, thank you, Flo. So, Michael, IPSF April Immediate Past Chairperson. And thank you for your nominations. I'm pleased that we have very strong candidates for IMPO position as well this year. So one question from me to you three is that as RMPO needs to lead a pretty big number of subcommittee members with broad portfolios, could you try to share with us your leadership experiences in the past that can support you to lead IMPO subcommittee smoothly in your mandate? Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we would like to begin with Karina first. Karina, you have the floor for 1 minute.
Yes, hello. So thank you for your question. And I have a bit of experience in student-held organizations like TEDx. So I have worked in the logistics team, and hence I have managed all the different committees and team members. And so I understand that I shall be having a big responsibility of handling almost 3 subcommittees, which would be around 40 to 50 members. And I hope to help them and would like to connect and interconnect them better by having several informal meetings, as this would help. If they are interconnected amongst themselves, it makes my job much more easier, and it motivates them as well, as they have each other to fall back on if they have a problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we move on to John Moises. You have 1 minute.
Thank you for that question. I think for me, the biggest position I have handled that is related to RMPO is being the team leader of the design subcommittee this mandate. At the same time, I have worked with different student organizations, such as I was the class president ever since I was in first grade up to 12th grade. I have been a batch representative of our student council, vice chairman of the executive committee, legislative board speaker, and a staff for the grievance and external affairs of our student council. Currently, I'm also serving as the international relations subcommittee of the member organization FJCPPHA Philippines. With these positions, I have learned not only technical skills, but more so team building. And as a leader, I have learned how to handle my members properly, how to delegate tasks, how to plan, execute, and evaluate projects effectively. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the first nominee, Elizabeth, you have the floor. 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. I previously, during my high school times, I used to be the head of the clubs, and also the head of the class, and also the representative for the students, to the teachers, and the student council. I also managed to had several projects and even committee in my university. I believe that my experiences has taught me teamwork and an importance of communication within team, so I can lead them and to be able to work together with them. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. So I think now we can move on to the next question. Agnes Gracia Winisono, HM API TV Indonesia, you have the floor.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for the presentations. I'm Agnes from HMFPITV. So my question would be, we know that the podcast is quite a refreshing method way to share information, and it has been incorporated in IPSF for quite some time. So, but what I've noticed is the views on YouTube channel is not as high compared to like other types of content, also in other social media. So what do you think might cause this? And do you have any plans to increase APRO's podcast engagement? Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move on with the third nominee first. John Moises, you have 1 minute.
Thank you for that questions. I believe there are two problems as to why this engagement with APRO podcast has been happening. First is the topic was very formal for the APRO members, and at the same time, the length of the video is too long for a podcast series. With this, I am planning to reduce the number of the length of the video according to the according to focus time span of APRO members. And at the same time, in order to resolve the issue with the topics, I am planning to make the APRO podcast more casual, wherein member organizations or CPs or other APRO members could give us topics in wherein they want to listen to or what they want to talk about. I believe these two plans will help engage or increase engagement, not only with APRO podcast, but with other APRO projects. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the first nominee, Elizabeth, you have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. From what I watch in the April podcast, I agree that the topics are too formal. That's why in my form, I decided to have an ideas of inviting subcommittees, MOs, and other April members to be the guests of the podcast, and also make it more relaxing. And also want to have the whole RMP of committees, subcommittees to be able to share all the podcasts in their social media, so it will become more accessible to other members, because I believe that nowadays we interact more through Instagram stories, and I'm sure that the April podcast could be shared through that. And I would like to encourage people to actually share and comment on that. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Moving on to the second nominee, Karina, you have 1 minute.
Yes, so I do agree with you that we have a bit less engagement in our social media platforms and podcast, especially as the podcast may be long. So we can either have a combination of informal as well as formal podcast, which would be of shorter duration and of consolidated matter and agenda. And for more than this, we can approach the CPs and different members as to ask them what do they think would interest other students. So this will help us know what our students and members want, and we can accordingly portray or we can show the podcast according to that. And more than this, I would like to say that we need to increase our social media reach and engagement in our social media. So for this, we could have some weekly activities which would engage lots of members, and hence this will in turn also help us in having more views on podcasts.
Thank you for all the nominees. Yes, we now move on to the next speaker. Observer, you have the floor for 1 minute.
Okay, thank you, Flo. I'm Hazika from IPSA Malaysia. Thank you for all your nominations and all your presentations. I would like to ask, what are your strengths and your weakness to be RNPO, and how are you going to overcome your weakness? Thank you.
Okay. Before that, I just would like to double check, Kishan, do you think it's okay? Is it like 2 questions? Because I think it is.
It's okay. For me, strength and weaknesses can be mentioned in one.
Yes. So just to double check with the observers, so you are asking for the strength and the weakness and the way to overcome. Maybe that's how we praise it. Thank you so much. So now we move on to the first nominee again. Elizabeth, you have the floor.
Thank you for the question. I believe that one of my strengths is a good communication skill and a strong teamwork, as I've learned from my previous activities and works. For my weakness, I have a really severe perfectionism. So I want everything in my project to be perfect. I want to clarify all the things that I did with true or wrong. To overcome my weakness, I usually would ask someone else to score or give a comments or a feedback to my works, and I will try to uh, make everything in the right tracks. I think that was one of my weakness and strengths. Thank you.
Thank you. Karina, you have 1 minute.
Yes, thank you, Zika, for your question. And what I feel is that my strength is team management as well as handling tough situations, problem solving, last minute situations that occur, and some projects that need to be done like immediately, like you have 10 minutes before we go live and we need this done. So I feel that is my strength. And my weakness does lie in striking a balance between emotional as well as practical aspects, which I feel actually having a balance, especially as RMPO, is especially important because we need to connect to our subcommittee members at a personal level, as well as we need to understand their concerns and their demands as well, but at the same time we need to be practical. So I hope to overcome this by having better communication and having an interconnected community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. John, you have 1 minute.
Thank you for that question. My biggest strength would be my management skills. When I say management skill, it includes both personal management and team management skills. This skills enables me to effectively plan, execute, delegate, and evaluate given projects and works following a specific time frame, ensuring a smooth workflow and order of business. I believe that having this skill in management as a RPO is vital since the portfolio has the biggest delegations. It is important for the leader to effectively and efficiently manage the work and lead the whole team towards a specific goal and objective. My biggest weakness would be I'm a perfectionist. In order to overcome this, I believe I should adapt to changes, accept that not everything would be perfect, and at the same time expose myself to several projects. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, now to proceed, we can move on to the next question. Tai Ying, my PC Malaysia, you have 1 minute.
Hello, this is Staying Jessica, my PSA Malaysia. So first of all, congratulations for your presentation. And I have one situational question. So if your subcommittee, one of them do not have a good design skills, but perceive that their design is perfect on their point of view and unwilling to edit because for them, art and design are per person based. So what will you do?
Thank you. We now move on to the second nominee first. Karina, you have the floor.
Sorry, I would like to clarify the question as like, are you trying to ask like if they have a flaw in design according to my perspective, however it is correct from their perspective, and like what they were meaning to say. So what exactly did you ask regarding that?
Yeah, you're getting it correct. So for your perspective, it's not good, but for them, it's perfect for them. So what will you do?
Thank
Okay,
you.
so thank you so.
Karina, sorry. Yeah, Ho Wen Ying, please help with the times. You have 1 minute.
Okay, thank you for your question. Well, I do understand that as RMPO, I need to be as neutral as possible, and I myself cannot have perspectives, is what I feel. Is because everyone, there is like a need of creativity in RMP subcommittee, and the thing is that if I don't agree with someone's design, and if that design is absolutely correct and perfect from their point of view, I would not be deciding as to this design is wrong, and I would not even force them to change it according to my perspective, because ultimately we are a community and I would like their own input as well. But if someone does think there is a flaw, I would like to ask my subcommittee members for feedback. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Moving on to the third nominee. John, you have 1 minute.
Thank you for that question, Ms. Ying. So I believe that the science and arts are subjective, so it's very subjective to the person. And working with the RMPO this mandate, I have learned that works and projects or design should not be rejected, but instead ask for improvement. With this, I am planning to communicate with that person who is doing the project, ask for her opinion if we could improve this, or if he or she have depended that it's based on her designs, I would gladly accept it. Also, I believe that communicating with them effectively, such as not using change this, but instead using, I think we could improve this by using this. I think that communication would be very effective in handling this situation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Now moving on to Elizabeth, the first nominee. You have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. For me personally, I agree that art is a personal preference. So I will not give a comment whether I agree or do not agree with a certain design, because I'm sure that every designer have a certain standard to their designs. If I think there's something that could be improved or could be added or removed, I think I will ask do a good communication with the person who designed. Can we edit this? Can we add this? Or can we remove this? If the person said that it is already perfect, I will accept that, because again, once again, art is a personal preference. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Moving on to the next nominee. No, sorry. The next questions. The next questions is from William Buhayo. I'm chairperson of APPS 2021. William, you only have 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you, William APPS. So my question for the candidates and the nominees are, how do you imagine the overall feeling and vibe that you wish to portray through all the publications churned out by APRO? So how do you intend to achieve or elicit such feelings from the audience to elicit that vibe that you guys are pursuing? Yeah.
Thank you. Now we begin with the third nominee first. John, you have 1 minute.
Thank you for that question, Mr. Buhayo. My whole vision for our MPF portfolio is to unify, amplify, exemplify, and solidify for IPSF APRO. There would be a feeling of homeness, and at the same time, people would go back because our materials we put up does gave them feeling of homeness, and it gives them knowledge. I believe that I want every members to realize that we are not just mere editors, translators, writers, or someone who posts. So I want everyone to see the sweat and hard work of all my members through the designs we put out. An account where APRO could go back and where they feel as I said, homeness, they know that the materials we put out are purposeful and could increase their knowledge. I also envision that the social media accounts to have a unified team at the same time, get the verification icon for all social media accounts to increase reliability and professionalism. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move on to the first nominee. Alice, 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. I believe I would want IPSF publications to be more engageable or more approachable to other APRO members. And I want them to be able to communicate, to comment, to leave their thoughts or suggestions. And also I want our overall feeling to vibes to be insightful for the APRO members, because I believe that we're not just an organization, we also become a source of information for other people. So I think that will be my overall view for the publications, more engageable and more insightful. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the second nominee. Karina, you have the floor.
Thank you for the question, William. So what I feel is that I wouldn't be having just one vibe for my publications, because being IPSF, we need to also cater to the knowledge and technical aspects of pharmacy, as well as engage students to make them more interested. So I think I would like to have an array of different kinds of publications, and we could have it on designated days of the week. For example, if we would have a technical talk or a publication on one day, then we would also like to involve certain puzzles and certain fun animated small things for students where they can comment on in the chat box. So this will help us make the students more engaged in our social media, and this will ultimately help us increase our reach and hold their attention span. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So right now we have 3I raised up by NAPSA Australia. This is a procedural motion. This means that we will close the discussion, and all of the entire of the questions will need to be deleted from the speaking list. However, to proceed, I would like to ask Kishan if you have anything to say to the assembly first.
Um, yes, thank you, Kishan, APRO Secretary. So since we still have a list of speakers in the speaking list, we first need to get a seconder to support the procedural motion, and we need to ask the Regional Assembly if they agree to proceed with this procedural motion. If they do agree, then we can proceed to voting on it. And if the motion passes, we will immediately close the open discussion.
Thank you. All right, sorry. Thank you, but we already have the seconder. We have Zapso as the seconder of this procedural motion. Therefore, we have to also vote officially. I would like to prepare all of the full members with your voting cards. For those who are against this, please raise up your voting cards. Kishan. Let me know.
I see only 2.
Okay, so 2 against. For those who are for, please raise up your voting cards.
I see 7.
Thank you. It passed. It means that we will now close the discussion and move on to the wait.
We're not live yet.
Thank you, Jotso, for confirming. Kishan, can you tell me?
We are back.
Yes, welcome
We're
back,
back.
Mike. Welcome back. I'm nervous now. Do I have to?
Hold on, I'm just updating the system.
Guys,
please mute your microphone.
Mute your microphone. And all of the nominees are here, right? Let me update. Yeah, please wait for us to update first the motion. Can I check with the nominees? How are you guys doing? Are you guys fine? Are you mentally okay today?
No, thank you.
Oh my God, that's so. Thank you. I feel you. Okay. Someone raised an eye. Moises, you have the floor.
Moises Carta, nominee. So, wait, I mean, is it okay? Because he asked us if we are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all the 3 of us were actually planning the next mandate. So, whoever wins, we will be joining the team, the RMPO Instant Pass. No more reading of forms.
Oh, that's good. I'm so happy to hear that.
So, when we
Good
see
job.
Elizabeth, Karina, or Moises, Instant Pass. No more reading the nomination or the form. You're Instant Pass.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you so much for the bonding that you guys have in the breakout room. Fantastic. But Kishan, can I double check with you?
Yeah,
if
I'm
we
ready.
have it? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Jotsu live streaming on.
Yes.
Everyone prepares your hand. All right. I would like to congratulate John Moises Because the motion passed unanimously, you have 9 votes for RMPO. So congratulations, John Moises. You are the next Regional Media and Publications Officer elected for the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for the mandate of 2021 to 2022. And on behalf of the Regional Working Group, we would like to extend our gratitude to Elizabeth and also Karina for your hard works. All of you have done such an amazing job, and we would like to see you guys more into the federation, especially IPSF APRO. So we are looking forward for your involvement even until the next mandate. So I would like to read again the motion 67. This is the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly elects John Moises de Carda as the Regional Media and Publications Officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2021 to 2022. Congratulations once again. Moises, do you want to say something for 30 seconds?
Yeah, everyone. Thank you so much to everyone, to my fellow nominees for electing me finally as the Regional Media Publications Officer. But with your help, let us make the mandate, unify, exemplify, and solidify our MPO portfolio for IPSF APRO. Once again, thank you and congratulations to my fellow nominees.
Thank you. All right, so I think Kishan, we can update the standing order. And I would like to consult the assembly. So after this, we have the nominations for the Regional Next Projects Officer. We had only one nominee. However, I noticed that it might take more than 30 minutes. And it's already like 1 p.m. 1:45 p.m. in GMT plus 8, which means like in 15 minutes we should have a break. So I would like to consult the assembly. Do you want to continue with one elections for RPO before the break, or do you want to have the break first? Anyone can raise an eye right now before we proceed.
Sorry, clarification from APRO Secretary. It's RRO first.
Okay, sorry. Oh yeah, can you update the?
Sorry.
Yes, thank you so much, Kishan. Yeah, we have 2 nominees for RO. So yeah, Flynn Swift and votes for N. Flynn, do you want to say something? And for what? And for elections, is it?
Just let's have a break.
Oh, and for have a break?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, cool. And for have a break. Okay, so for anyone who, for all member organizations, if you are for the break, please give me a yes. If you are not for the break, give me a no. Everyone is always against Flynn. Okay, sorry, Flynn. Majority votes for break. Only Nafsa do not vote for break this time, but it's okay. So I think we would like to suspend the standing orders. We will be having a break for approximately 30 minutes. And with that being said, I need 1 proposer and 1 seconder. The fastest one, please. Proposed by proposed by PSA Taiwan. Sorry. Seconded by BEM FFUI Indonesia. Congratulations to the fastest. And in order to proceed for the full members, I hope you can prepare your voting cards. For those who are against to suspend the standing orders, please raise up your voting cards. Thank you, Nafsa. Kishan, just to double check how many full members against to suspend the standing orders.
Nafsa, can I confirm, are you voting? You against suspending?
Yeah, I'm against it.
Okay, I see 1, just 1.
Thank you. If you are for suspending the standing orders, please raise higher your voting cards. Kishan, please update me.
8.
8? Okay. Okay, so because the majority voted for suspending the standing orders, we will now suspend the standing orders. I'm sorry for NAPSA Australia, but let's keep it ambitious for the next round. And therefore, I think we will have a roll call, and after that, I'll make a few announcements. So I would like to pass the floor to Kishan, APRO Secretary.
Okay, thank you, Flo. Everyone, represented from each association. As I say your association's name, please put a Y into the chat box. We'll start with NAPS Australia, MAPS India. Sorry. Oh, sorry, I got a cut there. Okay, yeah, MAPS India, thank you. Isma Farsi Indonesia, APS Japan, MyPSA Malaysia, NZAPSO New Zealand, PPHSF Pakistan, KNAPS Republic of Korea, NUSPS Singapore, PSAT Thailand, UPS Bangladesh, KAMSA Cambodia, PSA HK Hong Kong, SIPE SF India, BEM FFUI Indonesia, BEM Kemfa UGM Indonesia, BEM Kemafa Unpad Indonesia, BEM FUSD Indonesia, HMF APITB Indonesia, QPSA Kazakhstan, UOP MSU Myanmar, FOP Nepal, NPSA Nepal, APSA New Zealand, FJC PPHA Philippines, JFA Pi Philippines, UFA Philippines, PSA Taiwan, TDTUPO Vietnam, VNU HCMPO Vietnam. Did I miss out anyone? All right, all done. Back to you, Flo.
Thank you. So for the announcement, we will be having our we will resume our standing orders and have the roll call again by, let me calculate, guys, it's a little bit difficult, by 2:20 p.m. GMT plus 8. So, yeah, I will be seeing you guys.
Okay, thank you, Flo. So let me just make sure everyone is here. Okay, all right, everyone, I'm going to proceed with the roll call. Just one representative from each association. Please put a Y in the chat box as I mention your association's name. So we'll start with MAPS Australia. Thank you. MAPS India, Farsi Indonesia, APS Japan, MyPSA Malaysia, NZAPSO New Zealand, PPHSF Pakistan, KNAPS Republic of Korea, NUSPS Singapore, PSAT Thailand, BUPS Bangladesh, KAMSA Cambodia, PSA HK Hong Kong, thank you, SIPE SF India, BEM FFUI Indonesia, BEM Kemfa UGM Indonesia, BEM Kemafa Unpad Indonesia, BEM FUSD Indonesia, HMF APITB Indonesia, UPSA Kazakhstan, UPSA Kazakhstan, thank you. UOP MSU Myanmar, FOP Nepal, FOP Nepal, NPSA Nepal, NPSA Nepal, APSA New Zealand, APSA New Zealand, FJCPPHA Philippines, JFAPI Philippines, UFA Philippines, SA Taiwan Taiwan, TDT UPO Vietnam, VNU HCMPO Vietnam. Okay, let me just count. Okay. Okay, so we have 10 full members present, 9 are voting, and we have 15 members in association present. Right, back to you, Flo. Flo, you're muted.
Thanks. In order to resume the standing orders, I need one proposer and one seconder. The fastest one, please. Proposed by BEM FFUI, seconded by Isma Fasi Indonesia. Thank you so much. And for the full members, please prepare your voting cards. For those who are against to resume the standing orders, please raise up your voting cards. I see none. For those who are for to resume the standing orders, please raise up your voting cards. Thank you.
Nine.
Thank you. It passed unanimously. And I think now we can move on to the motion. Motion 68, this is the 23rd IPCF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly elects the following candidates as the Regional Relations Officer of the IPCF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2021 to 2022 mandate. We have two nominees, which are Clara and also Bill. Clara from VNU at CMPO Vietnam and Bill from FJC PPHA Philippines. So with that being said, I would like to tell the nominees that you have 3 minutes for speech each. So the first nominee, I would like to invite Clara on the floor.
Okay, thank you, Flor. You can hear me well, right?
Yes, your 3 minutes start now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Clara from VNUPO Vietnam, and I am here to nominate myself as your next IPLF APRO Regional Relations Officer. In this speech, I want to show you my experience at IPLF APRO, which will definitely help me to become a proper RO and also my plan for this position. I first entered IPLF APRO work in 2018, and through 3 years, I have been gone through many positions that related to RO scope of work. I was CP, President of VNUPO, and RO subcommittees. I was in charge for applying VNUPO to become member in the association, monitor the whole organization activity, and now working to support TDT UPO to become the full member, with the main purpose of branding and BSF all around the country and engage more pharmacy students to IPLF APRO. Throughout the journey, I was supported and inspired by many RO, Michael, Flor, and Antea, and many CP's friends. They make me a newbie. They make a newbie like me to feel like IPLF so warming and welcome, and that's the spirit that I want to continue creating in IPLF APRO. I have prepared myself by all mentioned experiences at IPF APRO to understand the role of RO, and I want to bring you a RO that is trustworthy, talented, supportive, know how to listen, and always be there to reach out when you need help. And here is my plan if I become RO. You can see in my nomination form for each duty of RO. Before new ideas, I want to continue develop what other RO has built in each mandate, promise to maintain them and improve them with an open mindset. Also, I came up with certain ideas and projects that I want to organize for CPs and actively engage them to IPF April activities and support them to initiate collaborative projects with each other. So to summarize all, I want every CB know where they can ask for help and motivation. I will carefully consider, understand, and willing to prioritize our own mission in my next year. With what successfully happens in my 3 years journeys in IPF April and what I did to motivate Vietnamese members to engage to the Federation, I believe my capacity of advocating, supporting the membership application, keeping our member active and spreading our Federation value to all our members. Thank you for listening and I welcome all the questions. You forgot to unmute your microphone.
Oh my God, sorry. Thank you for telling me. Yeah. For the second nominee, I would like to invite Bill on the floor. You have 3 minutes.
Hello everyone, my name is Bill from FJCPPHA Philippines, and I'm here today to talk about what it means for me to be the future RRO of the region. Communication. This, I believe, is the foundation of the position. An RRO has to communicate effectively to constituents as well as external partners about the direction the region wants to go to. But the question is, where does the region want to go to? As RRO, aside from following the vision of the chairperson, my personal vision is to have a more inclusive and involved IPSF APRO. I look back to one of my experiences as CP this year. 3 months into my mandate, a CP from a new association approached me and we had a heart-to-heart conversation about how we're doing in the Federation, exchanged best practices, and collaborated in a project together. Before completing my nomination form, that same CP approached me and told me how much of an impact that one experience had on her IPSF journey. She became more active and she was able to integrate herself better into the IPSF community. This moved and inspired me. I believe this is the essence of RRO, to invigorate CPs and guide their transition from a local or national organization into a cohesive part of the global community. As RRO, CPs can trust me. We will hold hands to make sure everyone, even new and organizations having trouble, will be able to better leverage themselves in IPSF. We will make it a point that when you say that IPSF is family, it feels like it. It's not just an added burden for MOs. Let's exchange our ideas and make everyone feel like they belong through new initiatives like CP Social Night, which makes it easier for the CPs to get to know each other. As a CP myself, I know your troubles and the little inconveniences that make CP work a lot more difficult than it should be. I know the trouble MOs face when applying for full membership, as we went through it this mandate, and I'll be able to use my experience to help applying organizations in the future. I will also push forward our initiatives with external partners. I have been to the 74th WHO World Health Assembly and 71st WHO Western Pacific Regional Committee meeting, where I was able to connect with several potential stakeholders of the region, such as Fight the Fakes, United States Pharmacopoeia, and the Graduate Institute Geneva, among others. I've also made direct connections with MEMS and AYPG through my involvement in the different activities of the region this mandate. Let's make IPSF APRO inclusive. Let's give every CP the opportunity to become the best that they can be. Let's start now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for both candidates. Well done on the time management. Now we move on to the open discussion. I would like to request the assembly, if you have any questions addressed to the Regional Relations Officer portfolio, please raise it up now. Kishan, kindly help me with the speaking list. Okay, we have the first speaker, Jung Swan Sai, IPSF APRO Immediate Past Chairperson. You have 1 minute.
Okay, thank you, Flo. Michael, IPSF April Media Past Chairperson. So thank you for your nominations, Clara and Bill. Both of the candidates have very good and relevant experiences related to RO this position. And being the regional relations officer, one of the responsibilities that you will need to update together with the chairperson to manage external partners for any collaborative projects. So please specify what is your strategy to boost the current partnership and even expand more potential partners. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we will address the questions from IPC. Therefore, I would like to invite the first nominee. Clara, you have 1 minute to answer.
Okay, so as I mentioned in the nomination form, actually I want the first approach of this. It just approach the alumni because they already go out to work and work. They have their connection, and that's the way that I want to approach. By understand them, I can know where to approach it's like potential partners for our projects, and also I want to listen to all the CPs about that recommendation because some activities when we branding IPLF good in the local, in many countries we can get the sponsor from the local too, and that's the way that I want to approach for eternal. Thank you.
Thank you. Now move on to the second nominee. Bill, you have 1 minute.
Thank you, Michael, for your question. So for this, I have two main points. First is to be consistent, and the second is to leverage our strengths as IPSF APRO. First, in already existing partners with IPSF APRO, it is important to be consistent and to have them collaborate in projects together every Monday and make sure that their needs are being addressed. Second, when approaching external partners, it is imperative to leverage our strengths. IPSF APRO is a regional office with over 70,000 members in 31 member organizations. That is a lot to bargain with. And knowing what that partner wants and what we want, we can form a partnership. Thank you.
Thank you for candidates. Now we will move on to the second speaker. We have Natania from BMKMFA UGM Indonesia. You have 1 minute.
Okay, there are some project APRO designed for CPs. So how are you going to manage and make sure that CP is going to be actively join the project so that it can run smoothly, since there are already a lot of things that CP have to prioritize? Thank you.
Thank you. We now move on to the second nominee first. Bill, you have 1 minute.
Thank you, Natanya, for your question. So in our region, there are three main barriers to CP activeness. First is language, second is the time zone, and the third is geography, which we won't focus on today. But ensuring that CPs are active, we have to know what's happening with their organization. For example, the turnover is between October to December. Therefore, we will try to lessen our activities in October to December. We will make sure that all CPs are included in the discussion when we want to hold projects. Maybe they want to have projects that are aimed more towards public health, and they will be more active in those kinds of initiatives. We will have those initiatives instead of other initiatives that we can delay. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the first nominee. Clara, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so for the question, I only have two solutions for this. The first one is I want to host a stable meeting time for every month so that every CPs can arrange and attend that meeting without worrying about their priority. The other priorities. And the second one is for the projects that we want to keep the CPs active. I think that the CP stronger that with anti-inventors is quite effective, and I want to keep it in the next mandate. With this, we can support the CP closer with the committee of RO. Thank you for your question too, Natania.
Thank you so much. Hold on, I can't see my speaking list. All right, now we are moving on to the next speaker. We have Li Hao Cheng, volunteer from PSA Taiwan. You have the floor.
Hello, thank you. Hello, everyone. This is Voltaire from PSA Taiwan. Thank you both for the amazing speech and presentation. My question is that since APRO is quite a big organization and you have to manage so many CPs at the same time, how are you going to manage to stay responsive and stay accessible throughout the mandate? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we move on to the first nominee. Clara, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so RO have they also come, right? So I want basic communities to be really high dedication to this and become the first connection with the CPs, and then it's come to me. So to stay active during the mandate, I would be 100% available online so that they can reach me through every channels, from WhatsApp to messengers to any kind of like channel that their country prefers. So that's the way that I want to stay engaged with them. And for some, like some difficult tasks that need some more comprehensive work, I will host a meeting to all of them and meet and, like give the solution at one time and try not to just answer privately to the same question again and again. So that's my way of communication. Thank you, Voltaire.
Thank you so much, Clara. Moving on to the second nominee, I would like to invite Bill. You have 1 minute.
Thank you for that question, Walter. So for this question, I want to go through my previous experience in IPSF. I have been a CP and a member of the Constitutional Working Committee. I believe I had over 4 hours a day in IPSF work, and I can do that as well next mandate as RRO. I'll be open, I'll have stable internet connection, and make sure that there are appropriate communication channels with the CPs. For example, other CPs don't really have Facebook Messenger, so I'll make sure to have a WhatsApp. For example, CPs don't have WhatsApp, some of them use Instagram. I'll make sure to be active in Instagram as well. In addition to this, I'll utilize my RRO subcommittee to make sure that they're updated as well with the CP updates and make sure that they relate to me the happenings in each organization. Thank you.
Thank you for the answers. Wait. Now we move on to the next speaker. Please help me to update the speaking list. It's Azrina, my PSA Malaysia. You have 1 minute.
Thank you, Flo. Azrina here from my PSA Malaysia. Thank you, Clara and Bill, for your presentations. So currently we're using a CP to-do list in the spreadsheet, which lists out the important tasks we have to complete. And then sometimes there are CPs who do not complete their tasks, and there's so much to do each month. So do you think that this is a feasible method to still be used after this? Or would you like to incorporate any other project management tools to overcome this problem? Thank you.
Thank you. So I would like to now open it for the second nominee. Bill, you have 1 minute.
Thank you, Az, for your question. So in conjunction to the CP's to-do list, I have a new project in collaboration with the regional secretary, wherein the monthly reminders, we will be sending out a Google Calendar link, which can be synced to Apple Calendar, Microsoft Outlook, and other third-party applications, so that it's more convenient for CPs to check only one calendar and see all of their deliverables. And additionally, I believe the CP's to-do list is not really something that forces the CPs to perform their work. It only provides guidance on what works they need to do. It relies on the RRO to communicate with them and ensure that they're doing well and that their needs are addressed in order for them to properly do their task as CPs. Thank you.
Oh, wait, sorry, I was muted. Yep, so we're now moving on to the first nominee. Clara, you have the floor.
Actually, the question that Arena asked me is also a really tough question that I always try to figure out when I kind of multitasking person. And I think that to consolidate all the methods to all the CPs, for the CP training session, I would love to receive the opinions from different CPs because I know that they have their way of time management, and then we will come out with a solution for all. And especially, I think that the RMPO and secretary can help with this because we have some methods that I applied recently. If we have to-do lists that combine to the Google calendars that we can apply for all the CPs at the same time. And when it's come to the task, I can checking and can continue to helping the CPs if they have any problems due to that.
Thank you so much, Kara. Moving on to the next speaker, we have William Buhayo, IPSF Chairperson of APPS 2021. You have 1 minute.
Hello, William, APPS. So thank you both for your lovely presentations. Happy to see them. So my question is, as both of you have a similar experience as the CP and in supporting your associations in your full member application, I believe that you guys have a general idea of how the Federation works. So may I know what you guys think needs to be improved from the current mandate and how you're planning to achieve this? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we move on to the first nominee. Kara, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so from my perspective, in Vietnam, we have many trouble with full member due to the policy problems. So actually, it's kind of, I always request the country because they have some internal work, but to, to develop this mandate, I would love to support them in every kind of meeting and also try to make the process of applying the full member as fast and clearly as possible, so that they can not, they will not get any trouble with the paperwork in. And also I will try to brainstorm as much as possible the solution that could help them to go through any barriers in their country too.
Thank you so much for the response. I would like now to move on to the second nominee. Bill, you have 1 minute.
Thank you for your question, Will. So for this, I'll be explaining two of my proposed projects. First is the one to revamp the monthly discussions. As I noticed, monthly discussions are, for CPs now, it's more of a requirement, and some discussions may not be really digested by the CPs. So we already have the IPSF APRO body groups. So I'll be giving them the opportunity to discuss these discussions first within their group and utilize a representative to send an email in the thread. Second, since as a CP, one of my main regrets is I didn't get to know more CPs during my mandate. For this, I'm planning to have a CP social night wherein CPs can get to know each other while playing games and fun activities, just so that it's easier to start conversations after that event, and hopefully they'll have inter-association project collaborations. Thank you.
Thank you so much for both nominees. Now I think we move on. Chen Swan Sa, I received APRO Media Past Chairperson. You have 1 minute.
Okay, thank you, Flo. Michael, IPSF Media Chairperson for APRO. So with the current situation, the majority of projects are hosting online, and it somehow affects the activeness and involvement of our members. As the next regional relations officer candidate, if there is any specific strategy from you to activate our members' participation in projects under this online era. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like now to have Bill, second nominee. You have 1 minute.
Thank you for your question, Michael. So I want to highlight here the words consistent and communication. Since in the online setup, many of us has had several problems, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Some countries may be having some issues with their connectivity. Some issues may be having problems with engaging their MOs in online events. With that, as RRO, it's my role to make sure that their problems and their obstacles are managed and that the RWG are really involved in each association. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill. Now moving on to the first nominee. Clara, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so in this pandemic, everybody it's getting boring with the online events. So actually, I want to make a more, like funny way to approach and give them the enjoyable experiences by organizing some random mini games, which I learned a lot from APPS event of William, who will get more people to engage in that with the joyfuls. And then I will hold the networking event between the CPs so that we can share our experiences during the workshop of CP so that they can relax and chill out a little bit between many difficult tasks. That's the way that I help them to engage more in IPLF APRO and also have the time for them to relax and make friends together.
Thank you. Now moving on to the next question. We have Tahing Ying from IPSA Malaysia. You have 1 minute.
Hello, this is Jessica, my PSA Malaysia. So first of all, thank you for your presentation. My question is on sponsorship. So can you please story us your failure and success in your past experience in securing sponsor, and based on those experience, how would you improve yourself in securing sponsor for IPSF APRO?
Thank you. Now we move on to the first nominee first. Clara, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so to be honest, it is one of my weakness because I'm kind of brave. Like I have really experience with working with the sponsors, but I always prioritize like this. We have our strengths and we will offer them what, and that's the occasion I always want to ask. And also working with them, I want to send the spirits and also our vision to the sponsors to get their attention. And you can see that we have some sponsorship before, and I want to maintain this relationship by many activities and want to engage them again to IPLF APRO. And also I want to build a sponsor profile format, which is one of the things that we can propose to many sponsors at the same time. And I will also collaborate with the RPO and the chairperson to work with each other to present our project to the sponsors. So that's the way that I want them to understand more about IPLF APRO and start to notice about us. Thank you for your question.
Thank you so much. Now we move on to the second nominee. Bill, you have 1 minute.
Thank you, Jess, for your question. So in finding sponsorships, one problem I had in the past was when during a project planning phase of an activity, we fixed what we wanted to have from a sponsor. Now, from my experience, I know that that isn't really good, since approaching sponsors, it has to be a win-win situation. And sometimes when you already fix what you want from a sponsor during the project planning phase, it's not really what they want. So with this experience, I know that I should be more flexible in terms of what we can get from each sponsor and to do more research onto how their activities were before and how they can contribute better to our projects as IPSF APRO. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the last speaker. But before that, Kishan, just to double check, I think Maps India raised a procedural motion, but I would like to ask to Maps India, do you still want to proceed or do you want to drop? Because actually we only have one last comment, which means that after this, there is no more question and it will be very pointless for us to have a procedural motion when there is no question left.
So we can proceed with the last question.
Can you drop the 3 eyes? Just say drop in the chat box, then we notice. Thank you. Okay, we proceed with the last question from Limelia, BEM FFUI Indonesia.
Yes, Lima is here from BEM Indonesia. So first of all, I just want to say thank you for Clara and Bill for your effort. And it was a great presentation, also great nomination form. I just want to confirm about how we know the subcommittees of RO play also a great part in trying to keep track of the CPs and their discussion, also their work. So how will you increase the relationship between the RO subcommittees and also the CPs? That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So now we proceed with the second nominee first. Bill, you have 1 minute to address.
Thank you, Limelia, for your question. So having a subcommittee, I believe, takes leadership skills. And with those leadership skills, members of the team may have different personalities. Therefore, I plan to give them training and a guide on how to approach CPs. Therefore, some of them won't be too intimidated or shy when talking to the CPs, and they can integrate themselves better into the discussion when they're in the body group or when they're in the CPs training. Thank you. That's all for my answer.
Thank you so much. Moving on to the first nominee, Clara, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so the first one for the general, for both RO subcom and for CPs, I think that the meeting is something that really important to make them engage. And the second thing is that when I talk about try to communicate in many channels, it also include about the professional channels and also the private channels, which means I will try to combine between the technology that makes them always remember about the tasks they get given, and also I will private chat to each other and understand the difficulties. Also in the last minute, until I also create a group, we will have many funds in that, and that's the way that we strengthen our subcommittee together and understand each other. So that's the thing that I learned from Antea, and we'll continue to develop in that. Thank you for your question.
Thank you so much. So we don't have any questions left on the floor. Therefore, we will now move on to the closed discussion. And I would like to request the secretary to move the nominees to the breakout room. Thank you, Kishan, back to you.
Okay, so just gonna request that the live.
We're not live yet.
Thank you, Jotsu.
Oh my
we are back.
Yeah, you guys are back.
So quick
Kish,
this time.
check your message first. No, not WhatsApp, the Zoom.
Okay, wait.
Okay. So we're still counting down. Thank you guys for voting. Kishan, let me know if you're ready.
Yep, I'm ready.
Thank you. This is the moment that we witness, everyone, the fastest closed discussion I've ever had. And Jotsu, if you are already on the live stream. But we have two amazing nominees, and I would like to congratulate Jang. Congratulations for Belle. 8 votes for Bill, 1 for Clara, no 0 reopen. Therefore, Bill, you are the next Regional Relations Officer of IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2021 to 2022 mandate. I would like to congratulate you once again for the results and cannot wait to work with you. As for Clara, you have done such an amazing job and full members have a very hard time for even choosing between both of you. We would like to see you further to be involved with the federation, and we thank you for all of your contributions so far. You both are well done. So I would like to read again the motion. Okay, sorry. Motion 68. This the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly elects Bill Wilson Baljon as the Regional Relations Officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2021 to 2022. Before we proceed with the next motion, Bill, do you have any words to say? Just 30 seconds.
I'll make this quick. So thank you everyone for trusting me. And I hope we have a great mandate with you and your successors next mandate. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, Bill, for that. Thanks, Clara. Now we move on to the motion 69. Nice. Motion 69. The 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly elects the following candidate as the Regional Projects Officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2021 to 2022. I would like now to invite the nominees on the floor. We only have one nominee. So similar with the previous chairperson election, if we have one nominee, we only proceed with one nominee or reopen. You also can still ask for any specific questions in regards to their nomination form. So if you want to prepare your questions specifically to the nominee, you can like start reading it now. But yeah, if the nominee is ready and would like to remind the assembly to stay active and to still be on cam. Limelia, I hope you can turn on your cam. Where is the nominee? Angela? Here. Okay, thank you so much. Are you ready? You have 3 minutes to proceed. If you pass 3 minutes, we will directly mute you. Thank you. Your time starts now.
Hi everyone, I'm Angela from BMKMK UGM Indonesia. So regarding my position as an RPO, I've had previous experiences related to project management as well as leadership. For example, as a special projects officer for the ASEAN-Australia Strategic Youth Partnership, in which I'm responsible for creating projects from scratch and managing them in the end. I was also a part of ISEC in UGM, as well as a chairperson of Clinical Pharmacy UGM, where it is an organization focusing on clinical pharmacy. Relating to IPSF, I have been quite active in participating for PD competitions. I've also won a couple of the awards as well. Now, other than that, I was also an official delegate for APPS Bandung 2019, and I'm also going to be a delegate for World Congress this year. So regarding my mandate, I have a couple of projects that I want to spotlight, that I want to point out. So regarding for public health, I want to focus more on humanitarian related issues this year. So I want to partner with things like MSF, IFRC, and other organizations to conduct public health campaigns as well as short online courses to increase the awareness regarding the roles of pharmacists in humanitarian health action for our members. For the PD competitions, I want to highlight debate competition to improve critical thinking as well as increase awareness regarding policies as well as hot issues that is related to health and pharmaceutical sciences, as well as create a hackathon and innovation competition that can be annually and open for delegates all over APRO. And also, I want to continue the internship program so that we as students can have professional experiences before we actually get into the real world. And for the pharmacy education profile, I want to highlight an extension to the YRF, which is to create a mini webinar series for researchers so that they are able to present their results to participants, as well as create an online literature review competition so that I can accommodate the students who would like and have interest in creating research papers. And last, I also want to create an APRO Study Together program or platform where we as APRO students can study together, exchange our knowledge, or just basically silent study so that we have a friend that we can study with. And besides all of my projects that I want to implement, I also want to increase regional collaborations, which is to collaborate with 2 or 3 regions in public health campaigns as well as competitions. I also want to utilize the IPSF APRO podcast for different things, which is sharing sessions or things like public health campaigns in which I will discuss later on with the RMPO. I also want to increase communications with IPSF Global, support and obviously be involved in APS 2022, as well as continue the IPSF APRO Best Association Award, in which I want to improve the grading system as well as create a new incentive so that the members of our organization are more active to be involved in our projects. So I want to
Okay, sorry. The time is up. Thank you, Scrutinous, for helping. Therefore, we would like now open the floor for discussion. Let me clear the chat box first. For anyone who wishes to raise questions to the nominee, you can now have the floor. So we have the first speaker. I hope you guys can help me with the speaking list. So the first speaker is Li Haocheng Voltaire from PSA Taiwan. You have 1 minute.
Hello, everyone. This is Voltaire from PSA Taiwan. Thank you, nominee, for your excellent presentation. My question is that when you are carrying out a project and the participating rate is quite low, how will you reassess or readjust the project? Thank you.
Thank you. Angela, you have 1 minute to answer.
All right, thank you very much for the question. So before that actually happens, I would like to promote the project more before I actually conduct to actually increase the engagement and awareness. But if in terms of participants it's very low, I actually want to look back on what's wrong with the project. Like, is the topic not interesting enough, or did I do something wrong with in terms of communications or like the marketing process before I actually conduct the project? So that will be the term of evaluation, and also like the platform that I use and how I actually conduct the projects will be the part of my evaluation, and I will improve on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We seem to have a direct question. Yep, so we have a direct comment from Limelia BEM FFUI Indonesia. Lime, you only have 1 minute.
So Lime is here, BEM FFUI Indonesia. Thank you so much for an amazing presentation, Angela, and a lot of your projects. Earlier about the question that Voltaire gave, you said that your answer will be to strengthen the promotion. So I would like to ask about how will you promote your projects and how will you encourage the CPs to promote your projects also, like the promotion materials that will be different from the previous mandate. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, let me invite you first. So Angela, you have 1 minute.
Sorry, thank you, Flo. Okay, so basically for that, I will work closely with the RRO as well as the RMPO. So obviously, I would like to maximize the utilization of our social media. So try not to focus on like 1 or 2, but actually utilize them a lot. Like for example, the use of TikTok. Like that can actually increase engagement and awareness and the interest of our member organizations. And other than that, of course, I would create like guidelines regarding the project itself and help regarding from the RRO to actually encourage our member organizations. And as I mentioned before, regarding the Best Association Award, I actually hope that with that, I can actually encourage them as the prize for the Best Association Award itself can be in a big form, like for example, grants for APPS. So I hope that it can actually increase their interest to join our projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we move on to the speaking list again for new comments. We'll be having one from Observer. Patricia, you have the floor.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much, Angela, for your presentation. I want to ask, you mentioned that one of your projects is going to be hackathon. Am I right? So can you elaborate more regarding like the main theme or the main mechanism of that? Thank you.
Thank you. You have 1 minute to answer.
All right, thank you very much for the question. So regarding for the hackathon or the innovation competition, I was actually going to relate and correlate more with the SDGs and the FIP goals and actually correlate them with the roles of a pharmacist in those goals. Like for example, for SDGs, there are many kind of aspects that pharmacists have point into, like not only good health and well-being, but stuff like environment and stuff like that. So a hackathon doesn't have to necessarily mean it has to do with technology, but it can actually do and create new innovative things that can actually be implemented and create a betterment for the future. And also that can also correlate with the main idea of humanitarian related issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we proceed with the next speaker. We have Azrina from IPSA Malaysia. You have 1 minute.
Thank you, Flo. Azrina here from IPSA Malaysia. Thank you so much, Angela, for your presentation. So science is about debate, and there's always new information that comes to light. So to what extent would you be willing to voice out for members with views that challenge the mainstream narrative that's proposed by established healthcare organizations? Thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you, Azrina. Angela, you have 1 minute.
All right, thank you very much. So the idea of the debate competition itself is to increase awareness and participation to our members to actually give their opinions on policies and current issues. So to what extent, of course, this can as this is a new platform, I actually want them to be more interested in it, as it is that they can explore something new. And of course, the issues that are related will be around APRO itself. So of course, they will have knowledge regarding that kind of issue, which also helps them to actually participate and actually have more ideas regarding that. And like things like scoring and certificates and also like prizes, which can also help them regarding that kind of point. So and also like is related with like the CPs and the Institutional Award. I hope that they can actually have an interest regarding this debate competition. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a direct comment as Reina, my PSA Malaysia.
Oh, thank you. I'm so sorry I didn't clarify it earlier. It's not about the debate competition. What I meant was in general about any sort of information in science, in healthcare. If someone has opposing views, but with scientific evidence, of course, to what extent would you be willing to voice out for them and do your own research on it? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for clarification. Angela, you have 1 minute.
All right, thank you for clarifying. All right, so regarding that, voicing out something that opposes the current issue or like, the majority of people's arguments, I think that I can do further research on that before I actually voice it out, because I cannot voice out something that I haven't actually done deeper research towards it. And since I also have like other like connections and other experiences, I can actually correlate to what they are voicing out or what they are opposing into. And it would also be great if I were able to talk to them or for them to actually share why they're opposing, like why it is they have a different argument compared to the others. So that is what I really want to point out. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's go back to this. All right, Cheng Swan Sai, IPSF APRO Media Past Chairperson, you have 1 minute.
Okay, thank you, Flo. Michael, IPSF APRO Media Past Chairperson, and thank you for your nomination, Angela. I got you one question. As you know, that working as the regional project officer, it requires multitask skills to manage various project undertaking in APRO. Nowadays, there are more and more initiatives developing in our region. So please specify what are your plans to sustain and improve current APRO projects. Thank you.
Thank you. Angela, you have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question, Michael. So what I will do is that I will first sort out the initiatives and what will be the projects in the following mandate. And after that, after I sort it out like with the team and stuff, I will create like a timeline regarding those projects to make sure that I can actually implement most of those projects and ones that have high priority. And other than that, I can also like select and make sure that I have like good time management as well in making sure that these projects don't overlap with each other, and they also have like good amount of like participants and stuff like that. So those may be the main things that I'm going to do, but of course like communication and discussing with the team on which ones we can actually do, and communicating with IPSF Global as well will be like the main solutions to this kind of problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving on to the next speaker. We have Agnes Garcia from HMF APITB Indonesia. You have 1 minute.
Thank you, Flo. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you, Angela, for your presentation. So you mentioned that you want to increase the public health debate in humanitarian-related issues, right? So are there any particular issues that you would maybe want to highlight more, and what kind of partnership would you want to have with humanitarian organizations? Thank you.
Thank you. You have 1 minute.
All right, thank you very much. So one of the organizations that I have been trying to point out is the MSF. So what kind of issue is that I wanted to like increase the awareness that pharmacists don't only work in hospital or pharmacies or industrial settings. So that is kind of like the main idea why I wanted to point out these humanitarian related issues. And for example, like MSF, Medicines Sans Frontiers, which is Doctor Without Borders, where it's not only about doctors, but also about pharmacies working in areas that are unreachable, or for them to actually provide help in those areas. So that is kind of the main point that I want to point out. But other than that, it can also depend on the current issues that are currently happening. Like, for example, on refugees and other kind of things like inequalities and stuff like that, in hoping that they can have more awareness to actually voice out these kind of issues. I hope that answers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Before I proceed with the others, I would like to raise up, there is a procedural motion raised up by NAPS Australia to close the discussion. In order to proceed with this, we need a seconder. Seconded by NZAPSO New Zealand, and therefore we need to vote by the full members. So Kishan, let me know if you have something else to say first, or can I proceed with the official votes?
You can proceed to the official vote.
Thank you so much, Kishan. So for the full members, for those who are against to close this discussion, please raise your voting cards. Kishan, update me.
I see 0.
I see 0 too. For those who are for to close this discussion, please raise up your voting cards now. Higher. Thank you. Yeah. Let me know, Kishan, if you see 9.
9.
Yeah, thank you. Motion passed unanimously. Therefore, we'll close the discussion, and we would like to apologize for the speakers because we cannot proceed with your orders. Thank you. And now we move on to the closed discussion. I would like to thank you, Jotsu. I would like to ask the help to reopen.
Okay, I'm closing all the rooms. You can, yeah.
Yeah. Your new RPO is Florencia. I'm rerunning.
We are already live.
No, Jotsu, you love so. Oh, we're already on live. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. Thank you, Jotsu, for the live streaming.
We are back.
Oh yeah, thank you, Michael, for being back. We're on the live stream, right, Jotsu?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. All right. Okay, Kishan, let me know if you're ready.
Yep,
You're ready, Kishan? Okay, sure. Thank you so much, Kishan. So we would like to see the voting results. Where is the drum roll? Okay, nobody drum rolls for me. Thank you, but we have 9 votes for Angela. So congratulations, Angela. This motion passed unanimously. You have 9 solid votes, and you are the next regional projects officer for the mandate of 2021 to 2022. And we're looking forward for your involvement and also contribution to the regional office. And I'm looking forward to personally work with you in the next mandate. So motion 69, this is the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly, elects Angela Judia R. Kandi as the Regional Projects Officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2021 to 2022. Before I move on to the next motion, do you have any words to say? You have 30 seconds.
All right, I just wanted to say thank you very much for those who voted. To be honest, I didn't realize it would be unanimous, so I will be looking forward to this mandate, and I will not disappoint you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward for that word as well. See you at the next RA. Thank you. So next motion. Okay, thank you, Kishan. Sorry. Motion 70. This is the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly. Sorry, Kishan, I can't read. Okay. All right. Elects the following member organization to host the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Pharmaceutical Symposium 2023. So I would like to invite my regional secretary first for the briefing. Kishan, you have the floor.
All right, thank you, Flo. So the bidding process is somewhat similar to how we conduct the elections. So we have the bidders. We actually only have one bidder this time. So the bidder will have a opportunity of 10 minutes maximum to present their bid with whatever materials that they have submitted. Okay, and once their 10 minutes is up, we will proceed to the open discussion. So during the open discussion, all the delegates, everyone from the regional assembly are welcome to ask the bidder any questions they feel is necessary for them to understand how they would like to how APPS is to be carried out in 2023, and to get the bidder's answers. It will also follow the same format: 1 minute to ask your question and 1 minute to provide your answer from the bidder. Okay, since we have only one bidder this time, we will not be taking turns. So yeah. Once everyone is satisfied with the open discussion, no more questions to be asked, we will move to the closed discussion. Now, during closed discussion, every participant from the regional assembly from the bidder's host country, in this case it will be Indonesia, our bidder is from Indonesia. Every regional assembly participant from Indonesia will have to be put into a separate breakout room. This includes all RWG, meeting assistants, observers, and official delegates from all Indonesian associations. Okay, so once that is done, only we can proceed with the closed discussion. So during the closed discussion, temporarily, Flo, you will have to pass the chair to one of the RWG members. Okay, and then we can proceed with the closed discussion. And as usual, closed discussion, we will be discussing off the record. And once that is done, we'll proceed to vote, and we will announce the host of the next APPS 2023. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Kishan, for that. So I think now we can move on to the bidding. First, I would like to invite the nominee, the bidder, BEM KMFA UGM representative. So I think we will also like time out about this and let us know if you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready. Should I share my screen first?
Thank you, Kishan.
Yeah, you can share the screen.
Okay, sure. Wait a second. Can you all see my screen now? Perfect. Should I just start? Can I get a confirmation? Should I just start right away, or?
Yeah, you can start. The moment you start, we will begin your 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. Respected RWGs, official delegates, and observer, good day to all of us. My name is Baron Christopher, and today, on behalf of BEM KMFA UGM Indonesia, I would like to share you our bid to host the 22nd APPS in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. This would be the content of our presentation. Let's move on to our introductions. We propose the theme of moving forward towards SDGs 2030, the pharmacist way, in which we will learn how a pharmacist can play a key role in accomplishing the UN's goal. Moreover, under this theme, we will also learn how handling a pandemic and preparing can help for creating a sustainable future. Two of our main motivations to bid today are international exposure and association growth. Moving on, this is us, BEM KMFA UGM Indonesia, member and association of IPSF since 2009, and we have a lot of experience in hosting many international events, such as the 10th APPS in 2011. Moving on, this is where everything will go down. The special region of Yogyakarta, famous for its cuisine, Asian heritage, beaches, and other natural places. We think it would be the best place to hold the next APPS. Moving on to our reception committees, we would have 1 chairperson, 2 vice chairpersons, and 16 directors to help organize this event. Moving on to our tentative dates. For the LIT would start around 29th of June 2023. For the APPS would start around 2nd of July 2023, and for the PST would be on the 8th of July 2023. Our target participant would be around 304 delegates, with the addition of 50 alumni and 6 RWGs and also 100 RC. We have the total headcount of 460 persons. This would be the logo of our APPS. Moving on to our venue. We would host most of our event for APPS in the Marriott Hotel Yogyakarta, while for the LIT and other competition and other event would be held at the Alana Hotel and Convention. And last but not least, for the competition will be held at our university, Universitas Gadjah Mada. Moving on to our symposium, we propose some few topics that align with the UN SDGs, such as zero waste in pharmaceutical industries, research and development of new vaccine to improve global health, and the role of pharmacists in IT and supporting the revolution industry 4.0. Moving on, we also propose the topic of challenges and future of marine pharmacology and the role of pharmacists in mental health care and multidisciplinary teams. We would also invite many speakers from government level and professional level to talk about the serious yet important issues to all of you guys. Moving on to the highlights of our workshop. For the academic workshop, we would be having an epidemiology 101, number 2, tackling poverty issues and providing nationwide health services and sustainability in cosmetic industries, and many more to come. Moving on to our workshop. For the culture workshop, we will be having traditional games, traditional music, arts and craft, and traditional food. For the competition, we would be holding the usual PD competitions such as CE, ISE, CSE, and PCE, while in addition to that, we'll be also having a poster competition, IMWHO, and a debate competition if possible. Moving on, for our public health campaign, we propose 2 themes, the first one being zero waste among students, and the second one is adolescent mental health, with the target participant of high schoolers around our university and the student of our university. Moving on for the social night events, first we will have a friendly competition through a traditional game. Moving on, we will be also having an excursion trip with the theme of Introduction to Indonesia Herbal Medicine. Moving on, we would also indulge the delegates with the local food of Yogyakarta called angkringan in the local food fest, and also we will have a malleable spree. For the Indonesian night, we will try to hold it at in Prambanan Temple, where delegates will watch the beautiful show of Ramayana Ballet, and we will try to conduct the international night also in Borobudur Temple. This would be the schedule of APPS. The first day would be for arrival, second day would be filled with symposium, for the third day would be filled with third and fourth would be competition and RA. Fifth day would be filled with excursion, and the sixth day would be public health campaign and gala night. LIT, or Leaders in Training. As we all know, LIT aims to train pharmacy students to become better leaders in global level, national level, and local level. This would be the schedule of our LIT, conducted for 4 days with 8 sessions with final presentation on the third day. Moving on to our PST, we've prepared 3 packages for all of you. The first one being Lombok Island, famous for its Senggigi Beach and Gili Island. And then we also have Komodo Island, famous for its Komodo habitat and Labuan Bajo. And last but not least, Nusa Penida and Bali, where we would explore the island of Nusa Penida close to Bali. This would be the budget and sponsorship. For registration fee, first phase registration would be around 278 euros, second phase would be around 307 euros, and for the third phase would be around 336 euros, while for alumni would pay around 145 euros. This would be our budget. We estimated the income of around 150,000 euros, with 46,000 euros coming from our sponsors. For more information about our budget, please refer to the spreadsheet we provided on your ODs folder. For the LIT, with the participant registration fee around 174, we estimate the income of 7,100 euros. While for the PST, with the estimated budget, with the estimated income registration fee of 273 euros. We have an estimated income of 35,000 euros. Please note that these budgets were made with the assumption that the COVID-19 pandemic is over. Therefore, there is no particular need to establish a health protocol. Otherwise, the budget will be readjusted to fit the situations. As we mentioned before, we will be working with various stakeholders and corporation for financial supports. So here are our potential sponsors. Although we're hopeful that the COVID-19 pandemic would be over by 2023, we have prepared health protocol as well as worst-case scenario to anticipate the fluctuating situations. We will follow the protocols from Indonesian government, Yogyakarta government, and Universitas Gadjah Mada, such as safety travel procedures, mask mandate, temperature check, and wash and sanitize. Should the situation compels us to do an online APPS, we have ensured you that all events in APPS and LIT are able to be converted online. For more information, as usual, RA and LIT will be held online, taken by the future RWGs and the APRO subcommittees. For the public health campaign would be turned into a social media campaign. And with the discussion of the RPO and RWGs at that time, we would turn our competition into online competition. With that being said, it has come to the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Questions and input are very much welcome. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And if it's okay for you to go back to the standing orders. Thank you. Wait, let me reject. Okay, right. So anyone who wishes to ask any questions to the bidder, please raise an eye in the chat box. Thank you. Please help me to renew the speaking list. We have Shannon, you have the floor.
Hi, Shannon Scrutin here. So, should the team be forced to hold APPS online? How do you plan to transition since the proposed plan is currently offline?
Thank you. Yeah, I would like to ask Baron to answer.
Okay, thank you so much for the questions. Currently, we also will prepare the online version, the online scheme of our APPS. So therefore, in the following year, during our yearly report, we would make sure that we would have an online plan and an offline plan, and even various plan for the online and the offline too, since we would be considering having a health protocol for online and for offline. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Moving on to the next speaker, William from IPSF Chairperson APPS 2021. You have the floor.
William, APPS 2021. So thank you for the presentation. My question is, I noticed that the bid and the material are quite similar to the previous bid from Indonesia also. So I would like to ask, what has changed in the time since you've bid last to adjust to the scenario and the new incoming scenario in 2022? Thanks.
Thank you so much, William. I would like to ask Baron to answer.
Okay, thank you so much for your questions. Yes, I understand there are similar materials for our presentation. However, one of the most important thing that we changed is about the theme. Yes, we will be using the same theme. However, the theme is very, very general. Therefore, we can adjust the topics of our symposium according to the theme. And since there are changes with the COVID-19 pandemic, we would condition our symposium and our workshop with that conditions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have the next speaker, Jason, HM of API TV Indonesia. You have the floor.
Thank you, Flo. I wanted to say very good presentation from GM, and I wanted to ask about if the bidding is successful and you guys are going to be the host for the APPS. Have you also planned or any revised or any registration fee discount for Indonesian delegates? Anything like that? Thank you very much.
Thank you. You have the floor, Baron.
Okay, thank you so much for the questions. Regarding the Indonesian package for Indonesian participant, we would consult with the RWGs of that time regarding creating such packages. However, if we eventually would create those packages, we would probably put it with the same price as the alumni package currently, with different circumstances with the alumni. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to speak and ask? Otherwise, I'll proceed to the closed discussion. So once again, final call for the assembly. If you still have some questions to ask to the host who bids for this 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Pharmaceutical Symposium 2023, please raise an eye in the chat box right now. I see none. Therefore, I just want to ask the full members. You can give me yes or no if you're ready to move to the closed discussion, if that's okay. Thank you. Majority yes. I would like now to move it to the closed discussion. Wait, I cannot see the. Wait, Gisha, I cannot see the standing order. Do we have the votes already?
Yep, we do. Let me just update it. Hold on.
Thank you. Are we live now, Jotsu?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly elects the following member organization to Asia Symposium 2023. KMFA UGM Indonesia. Thank you. Oh, can you hear me, guys? Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but your voice is okay. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, how about now, Kishan? Just to double check. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Thank you. Yep, so the voting results, congratulations for the BEM KMFA UGM Indonesia to become the host of 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Pharmaceutical Symposium 2023. So I would like to repeat again, motion 70, this is the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly elects BEM KMFA UGM Indonesia to host the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Pharmaceutical Symposium 2023. Congratulations. Is there any words you guys would like to say? Baron, maybe, or Natania?
We would just like to say thank you so much for voting for us. We'll try our best to create the best APPS, the most memorable APPS. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much and congratulations. I will see you guys at my home country in 2023. Let's go to the next motion. This the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adopts the IPSF APRO Regional Resolution on the pharmacist's role in health emergency preparedness and response, lessons learned from the COVID-19 pandemic. I would like to say something about this briefly. So we have already had our policy sessions before, where we elaborate both regionals and also global. And the output before was the draft that we have already shared with the contact persons. It was also already reviewed by the policy committee. You can also see the final template. And as usual, we have to accept and adopt the regional resolution for the topic that you can see on the screen. So I think to proceed with this, I would like to open the floor for discussion. Okay, I see none. Let's move to the voting. For those who are against this motion, please raise your voting cards. Kishan, can you help me to update the standing order? Kishan, are you muted or?
No, wait, you already.
Thank you.
You already
Okay,
announced.
for
Okay, yeah. Go on.
For those who are for this motion, please raise up your voting cards.
Please put up your voting cards clearly to the screen. Your camera, I'm sorry. I only see 8. Five, 6. Okay.
Thank you. Motion passed unanimously. Let's move on to the motion 73. Okay. Motion 73, this is the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly, accepts the IPSF APRO topic for the IPSF Global Resolution on the global pharmacy workforce preparing for the next decade. I would like to open the floor for discussion. And if anyone is aware why we only accept, because it will be approved by the General Assembly.
This meeting is being recorded.
Flo, I think you need to mute your second account. Thank you.
Can you hear me now? Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I have these technical issues today. All right. So I would like to open the floor for discussion. Sorry. Yes, I see none. Therefore, we'll move to voting. For those who are against this motion, please raise your voting cards. Kishan, let me know the results. For the Kishan, can you hear me?
Yeah, you got cut off.
Oh yeah, for those who are for this motion, please raise up your voting cards.
Why do I see 10? Just one representative from each association, please just vote. Just one delegate has to vote. Okay.
Thank you so much. Motion passed unanimously. Let's move on to the next motion. Yep. Motion 74, this is the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adopts the following policy writings as official statements of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office: infectious diseases, planetary health, non-communicable diseases, diabetes, interprofessional collaboration, and tobacco control. Before we proceed to the voting and open discussion, I would like to request the Regional APRO Secretary, Kishan.
Okay, thank you, Flo. So most of you may know that policy writing is something that was introduced in the last mandate by the previous IPSF APRO Secretary, Ms. Wendy, and this mandate as well, we've been continuing the tradition. So the listed policy writings on the screen are the ones that have already been published but have not been accepted as official statements of the IPSF APRO. So some of it are policy writings of this mandate, and some of it were written in the previous mandate. So up till this date, this is what these are the current policy writings that have been published. So once we approve this motion, we will accept them as official statements. But I also like to inform to the Regional Assembly that there are still more policy writings to be completed for this mandate. And they will, once they have been drafted and published, they will be combined with next year's, if it's going to be continued next year, and hopefully will be adopted in the next Regional Assembly in the next mandate. Yeah, but for now, these are the ones that we have published so far. If you would like to read them, they are available in the official folder for the Regional Assembly. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kishan, APRO Secretary. I would like to open the floor for discussion. I see no discussions on the floor. I would like to proceed to the voting. For those who are against this motion, please raise up your voting cards. Let me know the updates, Kishan. Thank you. For those who are for this motion, please raise up your voting cards. Thank you. Motion passed unanimously. Let's move on to the next motion. Thank you. This is the 23rd Asia Pacific Regional Assembly. Wait, sorry, Kishan, I have a technical issues. Okay. This is the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly agrees to postpone the discussion and adoptions of the IPSF APRO Annex to the IPSF Strategic Plan to the 5th IPSF APRO RWGCP meeting 2020 to 21. So I would like to raise up this motion on behalf of the regional working group because as I have mentioned in my annual report before, this has been the draft that we haven't really finished, and we have already consulted with the Secretary General on how to proceed with this because this should be adopted and approved by the Regional Assembly. And therefore, we think that in order not to postpone it to the next mandate, So the next mandate can already like have a clear strategic plan before they run their regional office. Our current regional working group think that we can be the one to finish, as it was also assigned to me as the chairperson. And therefore, we would like to have this discussion in the 5th IPSF APRO-er WCP meeting that we will like to proceed in the September, as we also mentioned. So in the 5th RWCP meeting, there will be like this agenda, and also like we will also introduce you to the next team. So that's from me. And the reasons why that we have this kind of like motion is because like there has been some difficulties from my side as well to cope with this. And I also prioritize on ensuring to run out the entire offices, as the IPSF strategic plan is just a clear strategy on how we should proceed. However, like in general, we don't really like use this. However, it will be good to still have the strategic plan to be implemented for just the mandate of 2021 to 2023 in the future. So it can be used by our future generations, and it can be also like I say that revised again in the 2023 mandate of the regional working group. That's from me. Thank you for your understanding. I would like to open the floor for discussion. Okay, I see none. We proceed to the voting. For those who are against this motion, please raise up your voting cards. Kishan, please update me the result. For those who are for this motion, please raise up your voting card. Thank you. Motion passed unanimously. Let's move on. This is the moment, right? Okay. Motion 75. Closing of the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly. Before I proceed with this motion, we just would like to give you a few announcements. That first of all, for the best CP, and then also best student exchange officer, and then also for the best member organization, we will also like announce it directly with the best LI tier during the 5th RWGCP meeting. So we want to see every one of the official delegates there, as well as that we wish to have like little fun with you guys to just have some mini games, and of course to welcome the next team. So I hope to see everyone in the 5th RWGCP meeting by September, and until then, stay safe and let's have a voting. Oh my God, don't play with me. I'm still in the live streaming. So,
Flo, do
Kishan,
you want
do
to
you
open
have?
the floor for discussion first?
Oh yes, of course. I would like to open the floor for discussion. NAPSA Australia, would you like to close the discussion? Okay, thank you so much. Yep, I think it's pretty clear. No discussions needed. Thanks, NAPSA Australia. And MI cannot vote, so I would highly encourage NPSA Nepal and FOP Nepal to become the full member of next year, please. So I think we will proceed to the voting. For those who are against this motion, please raise your voting cards. I think 0. Thank you. For those who are for this motion, please raise up your voting cards. I see 9. Just to double check with Kishan. I think it's 9 votes for. Yes, right? Motion passed unanimously. Congratulations, IPSF April. You already closed your 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly. And we will meet again in the 5th RWCB meeting. Don't forget. That's from me. Okay, Kishan, back to you. What if we decided not to close? I'm chairing again. Glenn. Yeah, Jotsu, can you off the live streaming? I cannot make